live in such a crazy world, but luckily we have places like the Babylon Bee, Lives of TikTok, and a lot of great conservative voices that are saying, hey, here's just some videos. Here's what's going on crazy in the world. We're going to start with this. So sometimes you can have multiple pronouns and in multiple months.
Oh.
Okay.
February, March, April, May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December.
Okay, so they ended where they started, and so they didn't really make any progress.
I got one for every month. You got crazy.
There it is.
Doesn't it just make you sad? Like, honestly, I don't even, this isn't funny anymore. I find it incredibly concerning that children are even allowed to struggle this bad with something so menial and non-specific and like, it doesn't matter. Like, it's not, you're good, dude. Just go by what you were born with. I promise you, it's way simpler.
No, this is encouraged.
Right.
This type of foolishness is being encouraged onto these kids to the point where it's like, okay, you're confused. Good. Be confused. Crazy.
Well, I mean, devil, he is
Author of confusion. Yeah.
Yes. And then, God's a God of order.
You got it.
So when you think of stuff like this, where you can tell kids, like, sure, we're going to affirm you that, January you're this, February, I'll ask you February 1. We'll see, like, what are you feeling this month? It's all confusing.
Yeah.
And it's all on these kids. And if you're going to affirm this with these kids, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah, well, that's the thing.
Yeah,
there's a big difference between a kid struggling and trying to figure it out, and then there's a big difference between then forcing somebody else to police their own language to reaffirm something that you were even confused about. How am I supposed to just accept it when you didn't even know?
Wow.
I'm not doing it. It's sad. That's what's really wild. I have, like, as a free speech absolutist, I have a little bit of room for the people who want to say that they're an orange tree, but I'm not telling you that that's what you are, and you can't require me to do that. But that's what we're doing in schools.
Yeah.
People are losing their jobs. Professors are losing their jobs over not gendering the kid properly.
But there's also teachers that have Black Lives Matter classrooms. Basically, it's all decked out in that. Check this out.
Oh, goodness.
BLM.
Bigoted, lying manipulators.
Buying large matches.
Amen. Be true, be brave, be proud.
Be honest.
I wonder how close they are to the nearest Planned Parenthood.
I know.
Probably walking distance.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like 79% of other.
Yeah, I wonder what they would have to say about that.
But that's where it's like, a lot of these kids don't know. They're waltzing into this classroom and they're just like, well, BLM, like, of course, like, if you're an American, you believe that Black Lives Matter, but this is promoting the organization.
Right.
And then a lot of these kids probably have no idea that BLM Inc. is now saying, we spent, $6 million on a home, and I just hosted private parties there, and it was all about just living lavish lifestyles off millions of dollars of donations from people that were probably just naively donating to a place that they thought was actually going to do something good. And then now it's, once again, this is just manipulating kids. And they're not going to be learning about math, reading, and science. They're going to learn about what social justice is, CRT, anti-racism, and like
putting it in math.
Well, and I just don't get how this.
How in the world is math racist? Please explain that to me, Lily. Since
because it's an absolute truth, Anthony, and anything that's an absolute truth has to be overturned.
I'd know that if I knew how to read.
2 + 2 = 5.
It's 21.
You know what's crazy is, like, how are they able to have any sort of political virtue signal at all in a classroom? Growing up, like, we never had that. I never knew what my parents were. I'd try to or my teachers were. I'd try to figure it out through things they would say. But you were never allowed to have, and don't tell me that BLM's not political. Just look at where all that money goes. That's not even a real argument. So how is that able to be on the walls of the classroom? Like, do the parents not know this? Are they not involved enough? Are there other teachers that are just okay
Fear.
with that, teaching victimhood to children?
Well, that's why I've been a big advocate of having cameras in classrums.
Literally a
big
advocate.
Indeed.
one of the largest advocates you've ever seen.
But I'm a big advocate for that because what goes on in the classrooms, a lot of parents aren't privy to, right? And a lot of the kids are not telling their parents what's going on. So when it comes to these situations, I really believe that we need to have either a parent in the classroom, right? Or just cameras in classrooms so we can see this type of foolishness, because that's unacceptable.
It's bad.
This next one looks like doctors, when you ask them about, black babies getting killed, they got absolutely nothing to say.
Shoot.
Lives matter or just some black lives? The black lives killed by black men matter, right? Yes? The black babies killed in the abortions clinics matter, right? Thought so.
Oh, I love that.
Crickets.
Boom, mic
Crickets.
drop. Yeah, crickets.
I mean, because they know. They know in their
Boom.
soul that something's not right
Boom.
and that they're not being intellectually honest, because otherwise they wouldn't kill, let's see, 63. What's 1/3 of 63? 33 million black babies?
There we go.
33 million. I crunched the numbers the other day. The largest stadium in the United States is the Michigan Wolverine football stadium.
Big house.
Holds 107,000 people. You divide 63 million abortions by 107,000, you end up with 585 stadiums of dead babies. 585. And a third of those are all minority children.
Boom.
But we're the racists, just to be clear.
Clearly.
Okay.
Clearly.
But just notice how they get quieter and quieter and quieter. So you bring up like black men, and they're like, oh, they said men. So like,
Guess we can.
But they should
And
say
then-
men because men can get pregnant. You don't forget that, you know?
Oh, apparently.
How
Yeah.
come I'm still waiting for the first male abortion?
In this brave new world.
I mean, Bill
That
Gates,
isn't a male
Bill
baby
Gates might be
being
on the
born.
way.
You may be a couple months away. Goodness
But
gracious.
you know who we're supposed to protect is the innocent and the most vulnerable.
Yes.
And like, there's so many people that just pull so much social justice nonsense. We have these
Yes.
social justice warriors, and we talk about people that actually can't fight for themselves. Are these children, and they are children. They aren't just a clump of cells. They aren't just some fetus, or whatever word you want to use to try to justify murder. Like, they need advocates.
Yes.
You're talking about, you need allies, real allies. You need to be a part of this abortion conversation to try to end this, because they need to be protected. And all Planned Parenthood is doing, all these leftist politicians are doing, is just preying on these people, and they are making millions off the back of these people because of murder, and that's exactly what it is.
Emotional anti-science conversations. They're denying science. They are, by not considering it a life and saying it doesn't feel pain and saying all this stuff about it being a clump of cells and whatnot. And then they're just, exploiting their emotionality. That's all it is.
Did you see that video where that fetus was getting shot with that injection, and
Yeah.
you literally saw it make a face in pain? Man, that's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
You really got to be sick to look at that and literally not care.
Those are the kind of videos that need to get thrown out there.
Yes.
And I know that
Yes.
Instagram's trying to take those down, and other big tech.
Oh
is
yeah,
trying
like
to
live
censor
action. They can't post photos of aborted babies because or a video of what happens to an abortion because it's explicit content and it's too morbid for people to watch. It's like,
too morbid for people to
we
watch.
told you that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Our point exactly.
Yes.
But yeah, let's just do it on demand without apology, taxpayer funded. Don't tell the parents,
And
all
I
of it.
thought that in regards to that video, I thought silence is violence.
It's not violence, it's permission.
Boom.
Mic drop. Exactly. Silent mic drop. I'll drink to that.
But it's so silly what's going on in some elementary schools, high schools, colleges, that a lot of these teachers and professors, they feel like, you know what, I'm going to come out, and I need to make sure everybody knows, and I am going to look like this.
Okay, I'm confused. I am entirely confused. What is this?
What is that?
So this is
It's
not
peak narcissism
This is
is
not
what it
a
is.
picture from The Greatest Showman. This is a teacher.
Oh my gosh.
It said the first day of school today was extra special because of as of today, I'm completely and totally out to all my teachers, administrative staff, and what a weird way to put it, and students. Like, they want you to know. You know what?
Yes.
Everybody that's going against this gender
You're
theory stuff,
totalitarian.
I'm making sure that I'm telling your students. Where it's like, this is clearly someone that has a mental issue and has gender dysphoria.
And it's okay. Like, there's programs to get help with that.
There really is.
You don't have to live in this chaos of
Yes.
spiritual turmoil
Yes.
and then impose it on a bunch of minors that you're teaching and the teachers and the classmates and everybody else around you. Like, there's help for this. You don't have to. I mean, it's just so weird. To me, it's peak narcissism.
It is.
Being so full of yourself that you have to force what your reality is onto other people, including children. It's just, it's perverted.
That literally just made me so sick to my stomach
I
looking
know.
at that.
It's unbelievable. Why are they always so gleeful when it comes to showcasing who they really are, quote unquote, to kids? Like, Oh yeah, I came out to my coworkers. Yeah, I came out to my parents. Yeah. And to the kids, they're
Because
so
it's sacred.
excited.
Because they know it's sacred.
Thank
because
you.
it holds value.
Thank you.
Because it is the most sacred. They know that. Otherwise, they wouldn't scream so loud about abortion.
Right.
They know it's the most
taboo.
valuable, most volatile, needing protection group of people. So if you can infiltrate the mind of children, you're just doing the devil's work over and over again. He would love nothing more for all these children to start, flipping their gender and start affirming.
Thank you.
Abhorrent realities. So it's perfect.
Well, that's what so many people are just looking for affirmation. That's all they are. They
Yeah,
know if they
yeah.
can't find it from a different group, they're going to make sure they get it from students who have just been silenced. And they're like, well, I feel like I kind of got to go along with this.
To
You know
get
what's
along.
crazy is like they clearly didn't get that from switching. Like they clearly didn't get that affirmation that they were seeking from switching. So now they're going to try to get it from people. And like newsflash, as we all know, you'll never get the validation from people that you're supposed to get. They're just never going to be satisfied.
And people just need the truth. No one's giving the truth. Like we have so many cowardly people out there. Like I don't know those administrators and those other teachers there. Like what that whole situation is like. But you need to give people the truth and give people the truth in love and grace.
Yes.
But like the worst thing you can do for someone like that is allow them to just put on this whole spectacle and then double click on a photo, comment something that's affirming, or continue to affirm them in that lifestyle. And that goes for a multitude
It's just destructive.
of things.